What's up guys, this is from Complexity Red, and in this video I will be showing you guys the two comps that people have been familiar with in the past. I will be playing RLS, which is Rogue Lock Shaman, versus the comp Rogue Mage Priest, commonly known as RMP. I will be giving you guys a step-by-step breakdown on how to beat this comp as RLS, and the little things you can do to put the match into your favor. The general strategy to beating an RMP is to avoid CCs from the mage, meaning shocks, banish, spell locks, grounding. Everything you can do to prevent the mage from casting any crowd control onto your team. The main kill target versus the RMP is the priest. You can honestly sometimes just train the priest from start to finish if you can prevent the mage from casting anything. In order to rush down the priest, you must blow every single cooldown offensively to score a kill. I like to call this Rios at him, which is short form for blowing sprint, vanish, cloak, trinket, like I said, everything you can to kill the target. Some things you can do to win this matchup is to pillar hump. This is mainly what the rogue has to do. He can still attack the priest, but at the same time avoid cast from the mage. Make sure you use Devour on cooldown, either on yourself, your shaman, or your rogue. Just make sure it's not being wasted unless they are very offensive on you. CCs on the mage is a big thing, meaning short fears, hex, howl of terror, curse of tongues, anything you can to prevent the mage from casting. The next thing is to interrupt the priest's penance. This is not that big of a deal, but it really makes them fall behind, and when the priest has to cast a flash heal, he is very vulnerable to a kick. Some things to be aware of are the triple fears. These can be very game changing. If the priest lands a fear on all you guys without tremor, they can kill one of you guys instantly, because after the fear they can just chain CC onto the healer or even the 2 PS if they are on the healer. You have to make sure you're watching out for the swap onto the shaman. Your shaman is the easiest target to die on your team, and you have to make sure you babysit him at all times. Make sure he's never alone by himself against a mage or a rogue. One thing to note is to watch out for the CC's DRs from the mage. If you have been chef 3 times, he has no counter spell, you can pretty much just go wild. Dots on everything, the rogue, the priest, and the mage. Fears on everything, just put out tons and tons of pressure. Okay, so now that you guys have seen the strategies and tips it takes to beating an RMP, I will be showing you guys a clip of my Warlock point of view versus an RMP. At first, I'll show you guys a match with commentating and pauses, just the steps it takes to beating RMP, and after that I will show you guys the match again in real time. Right now my shaman is sat far away from me, so it's pretty obvious that they're gonna go straight onto me. I'm gonna go behind this box and start LOSing some mage damage. Surely enough, the RMP opens onto me, but with demon armor up and earth shield up, I'm not going to be taking that much damage, so I don't really have to use any cooldowns. But as you can see right here, my rogue has full debuffs, and the mage is casting a polymorph onto my rogue. I told my shaman that the mage is casting a polymorph, and I tell him to shock it, because if my rogue sits in a full poly from here, we could lose a ton of pressure. My rogue is going to start LOSing the mage cast. Like I said before, it's a really good thing to do while still attacking the priest. Alright, so right here, look at where my rogue is standing right now. He's LOSing the mage right now, but he's still able to attack the priest. The mage is in a hex right now, so like I said, just use any CC you can onto him to prevent any crowd control onto your team. Like I said in my tips, interrupting a priest penance is really important, and right here I choose to death cool the penance and make him fall behind. My rogue is about to get swapped to right here just to prevent some damage onto the priest, so I know I'm gonna have to start interrupting the penances, the flash heals, so I get my dots fully back up and I start fearing his penance. And surely enough, I get full dots back onto him, drain life through the pillar, and he's going to go down. Now that you guys have heard my commentating and some pauses, I'm gonna be playing this clip again in real time. Alright, so some key points to note is that the mage didn't really do much. Like I said, the fears, the hexes, and the shocks onto him, it really makes him fall behind because he gets frustrated and he doesn't even bother. There was really no pressure from the other team. I mean, we did tons of pressure under the priest, so they really didn't have a time to swap to my shaman, and that's pretty much the only way you can kill against an RLS is to kill the shaman, unless the RLS runs out of cooldowns. So they could eventually score a kill on the rogue, but hopefully you could kill the priest by then. Alright, so now that the Valor arena matches have finished, let's try that matchup again on Ring of Valor. They do a lot better against us on this matchup. They prevent us from killing the priest instantly, but it's still not enough. Okay, so actually right here, we're actually able to get a slap on the mage, which is really good because he has to sit it. And after the slap, I'm just gonna get my shaman to land a hex on him. You can see right here that both rogues are running towards each other to get the blind on each other. So me and my shaman both know that when my rogue trinkets the blind, we shouldn't be afraid to trinket anything else like a polymorph, because the rogue won't have blind up for us. Even though we got a really good start with the slap on the mage, the priest is doing a really good job with LOSing me and all my dots, so I just start dotting up the rogue to make him peek out and heal the rogue a bit. But as soon as this pillar comes down, he's going to take a lot of damage. Okay, so I had just used my death call onto the priest and he trinketed. He throws up pain suppression, but for the next stun that the rogue gets on him, he's going to take a lot of damage, so just be aware of that and just see how much damage we can do with just one stun. I try and toss a Furo onto the priest, but he has Fear Word up, but my rogue is still able to catch up to him, and right here is where we land the kill on him because he has nothing up, no trinket, no pain suppression, and my rogue has finally caught up to him. I'm stuck in a full sheep, my Devour doesn't land, so that's unlucky for us. Okay, so now that you guys have seen the commentary and the pauses that I've shown you, I'm going to be playing this clip again in real time. Alright, so like you guys saw, some important elements to beating an RP was to avoid CC best as possible, force tons of pressure onto the priest, and my Devourer was always on cooldown. We were never in a point where we had to play defensive, so I could use my Devourer any way I wanted, either on my rogue, my shaman, or myself, and because of this, we did a lot of pressure. This is Snutz from Complexity Red, and thanks again for watching.